Hey, what's up guys, it's me Lizzie and welcome back to another movie review. This time we are going to be reviewing Incredibles 2, which is totally not a kid's movie because everybody that's been waiting and anticipating for this movie are no longer children because it's been 14 years, if I'm correct. I don't know, that's what they said before the movie started. They were like, I know you've been waiting 14 years to see this. So I'm like, okay, they probably released it 14 years ago. That's a long time to make a sequel, but okay, whatever. So there are many things that make a movie good, especially an animated film for kids. You kind of have to like have things that are for kids and things that are for adults in the movie because they take their kids to see the movie, and yeah. For me, it didn't really matter because I'm in between a kid and an adult. I can do like adult things like drive, but I'm mentally like a 4-year-old. So this movie was probably perfect for me. I'm not gonna say that it was better than the original because I would probably have to see the original first and then see the new one right after it, which I didn't do. But let me just tell you, it was a pretty solid movie. It was a really good movie, actually. I don't know what the Rotten Tomatoes score for it was, but if it wasn't phenomenal, then I will be very upset. So I have 5 points on how the movie was pretty good. Number 1 is that there actually felt like there was a climax. When the climax happened, you knew it wasn't real. By the way, I'm gonna try and do as little spoilers as I can. If there's a spoiler, I will alert you a few seconds before so you can like pause it and just skip over it. But when there was the climax, you kind of knew that it wasn't the climax because like of the way that the guy was acting, like the guy that got arrested. He was like, but like, what happened? I didn't do it, blah 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 blah. I'm like, this is not the climax, this guy didn't do it, this is not suspicious enough. So this led to a lot of tension when we figured out what the real climax was, which I'm not gonna spoil, but if you're not 2 years old, it's kind of easy to figure out who the villain is, like who the main villain is, like what their actual like identity is. Like, so some of the little kids may not have guessed it, and like the climax was probably like, oh my god, what, really, to them, but like for like adults and above, it's like you know who the villain is, but like the tension comes for like where is it gonna like get incorporated, like how are they gonna show that this is a villain, how is Elastigirl gonna find out. So it's really cool, like you know who it is but you don't know when it's gonna happen. So I thought that was really cool that the climax actually was like I was trying to anticipate it but like I couldn't. So that's one of the things that I thought made it a really good movie. The second thing was how it was about Elastigirl. Like it was about Elastigirl, but it kind of wasn't as well. Because the first movie was all about Mr. Incredible and like his backstory and like how he wanted to like do superhero work again. But like Elastigirl was also there, but like on the side in the first movie. Like she was kind of just like a side character as part of the family. So I thought it was really cool that we got to see like her story or like kind of her like fun side of her personality instead of just being a stressed mom all the time. And like it was kind of cool to see like her develop as a character as well, instead of just like living in Mr. Incredible's shadow all the time. Number 3, Mr. Incredible being a dad was, I think, one of the funniest things I have ever seen in a movie. It's really, really overplayed, the concept of like having the mom go off for work or like she just leaves or something happens to the mom and the dad has to raise the kids. It's a really overplayed concept, but they made it work in this movie so well because they had so many like other things going on aside from like the dad trying to raise the kids, and also like the kids are like have superpowers, so like that kind of like moves it away from ordinary already, but like I think they just incorporated that element really, really well. And Mr. Incredible being a dad also ties in really well with his character development because he went from being like, oh, I want to be the superhero in the spotlight, and oh, it's like so easy to raise 3 super children. Yeah, like I got this in the bag, to like, I just want to be a good dad and I just want like superheroes to be like legal again. Like I don't care if I get to be out there right now because this is already too much work at home. Number 4, they incorporated all the loose ends that they left off in the last movie. Like we finally figured out how Tony and Violet's date went, how the ship we made several years ago finally sailed, or did it crash on the shore? Like, we finally found out. It did both. No spoilers, but honestly, it did both. The first time was a crash, the second time was like, oh, look at that ship go. And they picked up the second movie, the exact moment the last movie was finished. So if that's a spoiler, I'm sorry, I'll put a spoiler alert before that. But like, I don't really think that's a spoiler because kind of was anticipated. So like, we finally got to see the battle with the Underminer, which was a pretty good battle. It was kind of short, but like, lots of action. I will give it that. Lots of action. And Jack's powers. We all knew Jack had like 20 million more powers than the rest of the family. But like, the comedy tied into him discovering his powers was so good. It was, the writing of it was so wonderful, with him discovering all his powers, with Mr. Incredible being like a dad trying to raise him. It was so funny. And I think when, this isn't really a spoiler, this is just something that happens. Jack wrestles a raccoon while he's discovering his powers, and it is the funniest scene, I think, in the whole movie. At least for me, that's my favorite scene in the entire movie. It's so funny. And also, because of Jack's new powers, we get, Edna gets incorporated into the movie again, which at this point, while I was watching the movie, I almost completely forgot about Edna. You know Edna, the little tiny woman with like a bob cut that just bounces in the wind? You know, the no capes lady, that woman? Like, I completely almost forgot about her, and then like Mr. Incredible's like, hey, we gotta go get this kid a super suit so he can control his powers. And oh my god, the amount of joy when she found out like that Jack had all of these powers, oh my god, it was so funny. She went from like 0 to 100, like, ew, disgusting baby, to oh my god, I will babysit this child whenever you want me to. Number 5, the concept. Conceptually, it was a really great movie. The first movie, we were introduced to the idea that that superheroes were illegal, but like, it wasn't really a huge thing in the movie, in the first movie at least, other than the fact that like Bob had to like work a 9 to 5 every day, and that they just couldn't, like, they still went out and did superhero stuff like regardless, because they're like, fuck the law, at least the kids and Mr. Incredible were. So like, they still used their powers and stuff like that. It wasn't really a big deal, other than the fact that like the cops didn't like them, and that like they had to work like normal jobs. But like in the second movie, it's completely based off of the fact that like superheroes are illegal, and it's completely just, you know, it goes along that storyline, and it fits in really well. And it also gives all the superhero characters and their allies like something to fight for, like the whole movie. Even if there's like no villain to fight, they're still fighting for something, which is like to make superheroes legal again, which I think conceptually is like really good, that they always have something that they're striving for, even when there's not something like right in front of them, which in any movie, I think that's like just a good element to have, because it keeps driving the story, even kind of when like the nothing's really happening, I guess. Number 6 is not really a point of how the movie went, just this character, this bird character creeped me out. This guy, if I was a child, if I was a 2-year-old child watching this movie, I would be so scared by this bird character. Oh my god, I did not, like, sure, this character was a good guy, whatever, he was fine. He creeped me out, man. Especially, there's this one scene when it's in like a boiler room or something, so like the lights are low and there's just pipes and some stuff, and like Dash is looking through the door at this bird guy, and he just kind of like turns his head around because he's like an owl or whatever, so he turns his head around and he just looks at it, and he starts like running like how a bird would run, like a goose or something when it's charging at you, and oh my god, it was so creepy. That is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review of Incredibles 2. It's a really good movie, guys. If you watched Incredibles 1 and you have been waiting for this movie, just go watch it. Just go watch, even if you don't even know what The Incredibles are, just go watch it. It's just a really good movie. I don't think there was really any spoilers in this review, so I might just put in the title if there's no spoilers. Yeah, just go watch the movie. Just go watch the movie. It's great. It's great. It's a good movie. It's wonderful. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a big thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And that is all for now. Stay lost, my friends, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye!